Okay, what you're looking at here is the copy of my new book. So I figured I'll show you the copy of my new book. It's just a proof copy. I'm going through it now and check for errors and things like that. But I'm excited that it's here. Hey guys, good evening. It's KLBELVIN. And that was the proof copy of my new book, Lukewarm Saint. And I am excited. I was feeling some type of way because the printer held things up. And you have to realize when you're an independent author and publisher that there are going to be roadblocks in what you do, and you have to accept that. All you can do is submit the book to the publisher, to the printer, and if things get held up, you just have to redo your deadlines, you have to write your apologies, and you go from there. But I can honestly say some of that pain goes away when you get to feel your book in your hand. And yes, this is self-published, but I make sure I take the time out to make sure that things are done professionally and correctly. Gregory Graphics out of Philadelphia did the cover design for me. We sat down and he ran with an idea that I had, and he brought my idea to life. With my books, I like to make sure I am involved in the cover design. I just don't want to put anything together. I want something that reflects my vision. And if you can see my man's face here, you will notice that it's different than his face on the front. And there's a story behind it, of course. That's why you got to read it. And that happens to be Kevin Watkins, and you can see his two friends there on the side. But let me turn this around. But I just wanted to say, sometimes emotions can get in the way when you're doing things on your own, and you really have to gather yourself and stop and say, okay, what do I do from here, and where do I go from here? And that's it. But I was just flipping through the book, and I'm proud of myself. This is book number 3. It was a step out of my comfort zone to write fiction. I did poetry before that and wrote my memoir, which was book number 2, From Gigolo to Jesus. But this was a step out into, thank you, darling. Hey, and congratulations to you. Thank you so much for stopping by tonight. Congratulations on the impending nuptials. As they say, they're going to make an honest woman out of you. Not that you wasn't an honest woman to begin with. But any author that's watching, and any author that's going to watch this, whether you've written 35 books or this is the first one that you're struggling to get through, keep the end in mind. Understand that once you have the book in hand, it's going to ease some of the pain, but that's just the start of, now you got to get out there and get it into the hands of the readers. But do not just gloss over the fact that you completed a book. Take a minute. Let it sink in. Take a deep breath. Feel yourself for a couple of minutes, an hour a day. That's an accomplishment. And it's such an accomplishment because not everybody can do it. You hear it all the time. There's a book inside everyone. And I believe there is. That doesn't mean that they have the wherewithal to sit down and get it done. That doesn't mean that they are going to be able to put together a story that's going to give somebody some enjoyment. So when you get finished your book and you know that you've done what you're supposed to, enjoy that feeling, man. It never gets old. And my wife and I realized last night when I was going over the files, my wife and I have published 25 books, or we have worked on 25 books through our publishing company, Braven Publishing. 3 of those are my own, the one that you see here, and 22 are from other authors that we've worked with. I totally forgot. I thought it was like 17 or 18. Shows you how on top of the game I am. I just get the work in. And I really took a moment last night. I did a video. I put it on Facebook. I was feeling myself because that's all in 5 years. I started this company in February of 2010. So this February will make 6 years. So a little over 5 years, we've worked on 25 books, 3 of my own. So please don't let anyone talk you out of enjoying that moment that your book is done. Enjoy the fact that you wrote the book, and then now continue how you're going to get the book out to the readers. And you have to make sure that your enjoyment and your excitement comes through when talking to folks. I am excited, and I'm still upset that the printer has pushed things back, and so the order that I have is not here. So I had to contact those that pre-ordered the book and let them know why I'm so far behind. And Miss Green, who is on the scope right now, we had some promotional work that we are doing together, had to push that back. But you know what? It's part of the game. And I know it's late. I don't have to work tomorrow. I got to go to professional development. But I was just sitting up thinking, and I love to reflect late at night when it's quiet. Hey, my man, Mr. Pinckney, long time, sir. How's everything in North Carolina? And I just felt, I was just sitting here, and I said, you know what? I'm sitting here looking at my book. Book number, let me show you both. That is book number 2 and book number 3. Hold on a second. Got book number 1 around here somewhere. And that's another thing, too. Always keep copies of your book. You should never be somewhere. All right, I'm going to show you. Hold on one second. I'm just putting them together. Hold on. I got you. I'm just getting book number 1, 2, and 3. And another thing, too, is make sure your covers don't all look alike, man. Don't have a table with all your books. Okay, here we go. All right. This is, I don't know if I can turn my camera this way. There we go. Yeah, I'll turn my camera up the long way. This one is the poetry book, my very first book, written in 2007, published in 2008. This one was published in 2011, and this is the brand new one. This one is poetry, my memoir, so nonfiction and fiction. And I designed all these covers. I came up with the ideas of all my covers because I wanted something that was different. I didn't want my covers to look like every other book that was out there, and I wanted my covers to have meanings. I wanted my covers to reflect where my head was at and what I was thinking. And too often, you know, I see guys, thank you so much. Yeah, we have to think outside the box, but also you have to create a box for yourself. There's nothing wrong with stepping out of the ordinary boxes that a lot of other people are in and create your own space. For me, when I came in the game in 2007, I didn't want nothing that I said, nothing that I wrote, and nothing that I created to look like anybody else's work, because then by design, you're going to be compared. I didn't want that. I wanted mine to stand out. And what's funny about this book here, that's a stock picture, because I saw somebody with the behind the windshield and everything like that, that scenery in a book. And I was like, that's my cover. But the additions that we made, you may not be able to see it. That's actually a Jesus with his hands out, illuminated there, and the highway sign and the windshield. I had the designer add that because it automatically made my book different than the person that used that stock photo. And I'm not a big fan of stock photos, but if you're going to use them, make sure that you add and create enough within the stock photo that it changes what that photo actually was from the beginning. So if I stripped all that away and showed you the stock photo, it doesn't look anything like the finished product. This one here, again, was the design that I came up with, and Gregory Graphics worked on that. And you can see the back here. Also, make sure your back language gives a good representation of the book. Just don't put foolishness on the back of your book either. Make the book, the back of the book, enjoyable, because people are going to pick it up and read the back. And you don't have to have it flooded with a bunch of things that other people have said about the book, because they'll say pretty much anything if you give them money. But give somebody a little something to read that's going to make them open up the book and maybe flip through a couple of pages. You want to invite them to read what you wrote. So in this particular case, the fact that his face looks totally different, like something's on his mind compared to that little sly smile that he has on the front, I did, and I know that's going to come out crazy when I go to record this. It's going to be all tilted, but I wanted to make sure I got all the pictures in. Let me turn this around here. Okay, now talking through the back camera. Yeah, so I'm excited. This is my third book, and I'm going to do, I had to get back to enjoying what I was doing. I let sometimes events that didn't turn out the way that I wanted, or certain amount of money that I didn't make at certain events. I let that jade me, where I had got away from my love of why I started doing this. And with this last book, I got back to what I started with my first book. And that was writing for the love of writing and not worrying about everything else. Making sure that I created something. Actually, all my books are that way, but I kind of got away from that. Thank you for joining, was creating a book that I wanted to see written. And that's actually what I did with all three of my books, was to create books that I enjoy. And hopefully when the reader reads it, will get the sense of what I was trying to say, and then they should enjoy it also. Whether they agree with my thinking or not, that's fine. I have no problem with that. That's up to the reader. But I wanted to make sure it made sense. I don't always know if authors take that time out to see if it makes sense. You have to get back to the basics, but you never should depart from the basics. You should always have that foundation, Joe, and then add to it. I think we try to outslick ourselves sometimes when trying to write. Be within yourself. Now, challenge yourself like I did. I wrote fiction. I had never written fiction, but I took time out to study some, and I stayed away from reading a lot of other people's books because I didn't like that. But another thing that I did, I want to show you my junky desk, but I keep like arcs up on my wall here in my office. These are writer arcs, just things that kind of remind me how to tell a story and what a story should consist of. Now, I don't necessarily follow every step. Now, this is the 8-point arc. I actually enjoy the 8-point arc because it actually gives you what a story should look like, and it actually gives you examples. And so sometimes if you find yourself getting lost, the 8-point arc is actually pretty good. Here's another thing that I use that I think is extremely helpful, is the ideas of using emotional words. And that, I don't know if you can see it, but it has in the center fear, anger, surprise, happy, sad, disgust. And then it branches out to what words are connected to those words, and then what words are connected to those words. So you're not stuck using the same words all the time, and that you can give descriptive and emotional words without using the same type of emotion. So if you want to say someone is sad, are they guilty? Are they abandoned? Are they despair, depressed, lonely, or bored? And then that stretches out to remorseful, ashamed, ignored, victimized, powerless, vulnerable, inferior, empty, abandoned, isolated. Oh, I missed a couple. Yeah, isolated and apathetic and indifferent. So all those terms can be used in your writing to still mean the same thing of sad, but you're not just saying sad, 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 sad. And then the reader says, you know what the hell with this, and throws your book to the side. And as it's funny when we talk to kids, use your words. Well, authors should say that to themselves too. Use your words. And if you don't have the words, put them up. I use that when I'm writing. I'm like, okay, he's angry right now, but I said that earlier. What can I use? And I look up and I say, okay, he's angry, but he's really aggressive right now, or he's frustrated. Okay, let me put that and use that and write that. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited because I want to, and I gave the book to a couple of beta readers and they loved it. But you get a little worried because you go, okay, y'all loved it. Is everybody going to love it? You know what? Nah, I'm not stressing. I actually thank the beta readers inside the book, and I can't wait to give them their free copy. And actually, I scheduled an opportunity to sit with them and talk with them and just get some feedback from them on what they enjoyed about the book. And I'm actually going to record that. Maybe I'll do Periscope when I do that. I don't know. I don't know if I'll just record it and post it or do it live. I'm not sure, but I just would love to sit down. And that's another thing that I'm going to be doing going forward, is scheduling small, not signings, but just small opportunities, get-togethers, 10, 15, 20 people, an opportunity to grab a little something to eat. They'll get a copy of the book with the money that they pay, and we're going to sit down and talk and discuss the things that I normally discuss, relationships, men, women, whatever, and of course the books, and just get back to some good old-fashioned, let's sit down and meet the author. Let's sit down and figure out why I wrote this book. Let's sit down and talk about my book. And if you didn't like it, tell me why you didn't like it. And if you did like it, tell me what you liked about it. If you liked the character, tell me why you liked the character. And let's get back to some things that makes a person feel that what they paid for was worth it, not just because of the size of the book, because the author took the time out to become engaging, not just online. I am so tired of everything being centered on the internet. I mean, yes, it's a tool we have to use, but I'm getting back to dealing with people. And that's another thing that I did with my book. Let me show you that too. Let me see. Because I want you to see. You see the side? I only blur it down. I want you to see my bank information up there. Next thing I know, my bank account's empty. The size of the book. It's 100. I think it's 200 pages. I'm not sure with this one. Something like that. 190. Like, yeah, something like that. And I wanted to make sure that it was of size. And it's actually a nice size. I wanted to make sure that it was worth a person's money. These 60 and 70 page books that people are throwing out and then charging $12 and $13 and $14, that's criminal. I mean, I'm gonna knock your hustle if I don't agree with it. You don't have to agree with me, but I just feel when you're charging $10, $11, $12, $13, $14, a person should have close to 200 pages, man. How are you beating people in the head for $10, $9.99, whatever, and you're giving them 50 pages, 60 pages, 70 pages? That's weak. We need to get back to real storytelling. We need to get back to real book writing. And I'm not saying that, well, I guess I am. I don't read a lot of the stuff that's out because the captions don't capture me. So as they say, if you don't see what you like, write it. And that's what I'm trying to do. But I still like to support my fellow brothers and sisters who write. So I don't hate on them, but I hate on anything that affects the business. So let me just say that again. I don't hate on other authors unless they give me reason to dislike something that they do. But I do not like business practices that affect all of us who are in this industry. When we do things that cheapen what we do as professionals, that hurts everyone. Please understand that. I'm not hating any particular author. I could name a few. What I'm saying is when you put a book out that's 60 pages, 50 pages, and you charge maximum $1, well, those better be the damn best 60 pages that someone's ever read, because they're going to be upset. And then that makes them not want to buy any book from anybody that remotely seems like or is in the same position with their book that you're in. And understand that bookstores are lumping us all together in the African American interest, black interest. All our books are being pushed into the same areas in some of these bookstores that are still open. You don't want people walking past our books because they're upset that they got shortchanged from somebody. And I'm not going to get into the 99-cent thing, ebooks tonight. I'm tired. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to say for the record, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the fact that your book is $13, $14, $15, $16 and then you give it away for 99 cents. I'm not doing it. None of my ebooks are less than $3. I think $2.99 and $3.99 are the price. What I normally do is I make them a third of what the physical book costs, simply because there's no overhead, so there's no reason to charge you for shipping and handling or printing, because there is no printing. So I charge a third, or maybe a little less than a third, but $2.99 is the cheapest. Because if you can't spend $3 for my work, then you know what? You're probably not a reader that's going to enjoy my work anyways. I'm not stressing. Because that's the other problem, is folks are starting to begrudge certain 99-cent working unless they know the author firsthand. And again, it's affecting all of us. We seem to be all cuddled up next to Amazon, and we forget that we need to go out and take care of our readers ourselves. Stop allowing Big Brother to push our works at such a discounted price that we're not making any money. But that's another issue for another day. I'm just saying we got to get back to basics, like Brother Pickney said. We got to get back to the basics, and that's consider the reader, consider the reader, consider the reader. Consider the reader when you're writing. Consider the reader when you're marketing, promoting, and when you're actually speaking to them. If someone's taking the time out to take money out of their pocket and buy your book, give them a few words. Now, I'm not sitting there saying have a whole diatribe with them, but give them a couple of words. Give them, other than just thank you when you signed it. You know, tell them, listen, I'd like to hear what you think. Give them somewhere to contact you. Create opportunities for them to engage with you in a way that it can be mutual, because people like to interact, and then they go out and tell other people. You know, he's one of the nicest authors I met. She's one of the nicest authors I spoke to. She returns her emails. I came by her page, and she liked the post that I put up, and she sent me a message back. You know, every now and then, get on your writer's page and just scroll down and say, this particular reader right here, I'm going to send a personal direct message to. Thank you for the hearts, by the way, guys. And try to do that once or twice a week. Choose a different reader and say, I want to send a direct message. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for purchasing my book. Thank you for your comment. And then a couple of the negative ones too. Hit a couple of the negative ones up too in a private message, and the same thing. Thank you for purchasing my book. Thank you for bringing to my attention that you didn't like the character. Thank you for bringing to my attention that you thought the book was too short or too long. Any suggestions you have in the future, leave me a message. Now, you don't always have to respond to every message, but just once or twice a week, and you'll be surprised how that spurs on positive interaction, how people will maybe share that and talk to other folks and talk other folks into purchasing your book or whatever. And right now, there's so many people out selling books. You got to give the reader something, and it has to start, excuse me, let me get my language right. I know it's after 12. It must start with quality writing. It must start with a quality book, a well-done cover, well-done editing, a well-done message around what your book is about. Stop walking up on people and saying, this is the hot, I was about to curse, I know I'm tired, telling them how hot it is, telling them how great this is. All that's subjective anyway. Just because you say it's great don't mean it is, and doesn't mean it's going to be great to me. But give them what your book is connected to. Give them some things that they're going to find in their book that's going to make them think. Give them reason to go, really? Okay. I might have to check that out. Hey, better than no. Or I will check that out. Much better than no. But you have to understand that the business aspect of it is still reflective on the author that you are. You wrote the book. No one should know your book better than you, other than your best fan, other than your number one fan. So when someone says, what's this book about? Say, well, and then go into it in a positive way. With a smile. How many authors that I see don't smile? And I don't understand that. You're selling you. Well, let me take that back. A lot of authors just selling their books. They're not selling them when they should be selling them. So how is it that you want someone to buy from you and you're not offering a smile before and after the transaction? Have some bags. Do you know how much custom-made bags cost? They're not expensive. Person buys a book, give them the bag and with your logo on it, with your name on it, with the book's name on it. You have to lead with, first of all, you have to attract with positive energy. So you have to lead with positive energy. The smile is what someone sees from a distance, and then they see that you smile at everyone. So it doesn't look fake. I don't care if you're having a hard day. I don't care if you didn't sell any books. You smile at everyone that walks over to your table and thank them for stopping by. Shake hands, come from behind your table and meet people eye to eye and speak to them. And when they buy a book, give them a bag. Put the book in the bag. You know why? They're going to carry that bag. They're going to put other things in that bag. Someone is going to say to them, where did you get that bag? And you know what? You now have promoted yourself without having to be there. Wow, he gives you bags? Yeah. Just little gestures like that. And they don't cost much. And you can get them custom made. You can go to eBay, and if you get them overseas, it's even cheaper. Because you got to invest in yourself. A smile in a bag, you'd be surprised. And when my wife and I are together, I have a running joke. They'll go to hand me money. I go, no, give it to the wife. I'm a trained husband. I don't touch the money. She takes care of it all. Thank you. You're welcome. Low cost, high returns, always. And then they smile and they look at my wife. And what's the first thing that my wife has in her hand? The bag. She takes the money, she counts it, I sign the book, she puts the book in the bag, and then I say, could I please take a picture with you? And I may make a joke, or if you got warrants now, I don't want to take no picture with you and get you in trouble, but may I take a picture with you? And then don't take the book out the bag, let them hold the bag, take another book off your table, take the picture with them. Now your bag and the book is in the picture wherever they go. And then you ask them, did you sign my email list? Because I can send you, or if you're on Facebook, I can tag you with this picture. I can send it to you. Now they have given you their email. So you now have a way to stay in touch with them. You can tag them in the picture, which means they now will have people on their page that did not come to the event see you. And you do it anyway, because how many times have you tagged yourself in other foolishness that you want people to see about the book? So why not someone who actually has your book? And all of that doesn't cost that much money. And I sometimes just see authors as just about, here, take the book, give me your money, I signed it, keep it moving. And you feel used. You really do. You feel like you was at a drive-through prostitution spot. I paid my money, we climbed in the back seat, she jumped out and kept it moving. Feeling horrible afterwards. Make a person feel loved. Make a person feel special because they gave you money. And remember, always remember, they didn't have to. They really didn't. And I got away from that. I didn't get away from where I started focusing on money. I got away from getting excited all the time. I would be excited all the time at one point. Then I kind of got bored with it. Thank you so much. And thank you for the hearts, guys. But then I had to really get myself back to, but how many people have I helped with my books? How many people have taken pleasure in my books? And I never got into this for the money to begin with. And I know you're going to hear a lot of people say, when people tell you that, they're lying. No, I really didn't, because I work full time. I'm a full-time educator and I make good money teaching. This is year number 20. So, and I work in New York City, so we're getting paid a lot of money. But when I started my company, it was designed to create books that people are going to enjoy. And I've done that. And that's one of the things that I make sure I do at any event, is that I smile a lot. I talk to people a lot. I shake hands. I look people in the eye. Another tip I'll give you: whoever the promoters of the event are, at the end of the event, good, bad, or indifferent, walk over, thank them for the event, give them a book, sign the book, and say thank you. Appreciate being here. Even if you pay for the table, appreciate being here. Look forward to the next event that you do, or the next year, or whatever it is. Give them the book with your card in it. Let them know that you had a great time, even when you didn't. It's like going on a date with somebody that you're just not attracted to. You're still polite to them, even though when you take them home, ain't no way in you're calling them again. Gratitude goes definitely a long way. And then you just simply let them know, I look forward to it. And then send the formal letter, email or handwritten letter, thanking them for the opportunity. Again, 2 times. Goes a long way. And again, low cost, doesn't cost you anything, because now you have all the emails of the people that signed up. Also, make sure you tell people to print. I'm a school teacher, so I'm going to tell you. People write like they're writing with their feet because they're rushing. They just want to get it done and get away from the table. They bought the book. Please ask them to print, so you can figure out the letters later on. They start writing in script or calligraphy or whatever they're writing in, you may not be able to figure out who that was, and it may be the person that really had some links to some things. So just real quick say, oh, could you please print your name? Let them know, or put it on your sheet. Print your name on email and everything. Because we live in an age where, you got to have your mailing list together. That way you can send your press releases out. Press releases, yes. You send press releases out when you're going to be speaking somewhere. You should be on Periscope, letting folks know what you do and what you feel and everything. And again, connected to your books. I watch Periscope of authors, and they'll be on for 30 minutes, like I am right now, and didn't mention their books, didn't mention anything. And then at the end of it say, bye-bye my book. Really? Come on now. Give me something. Share something. Let's stop trying to hold on to information like we have the answers to life. Share. Give as many positive tips as you can away, unless you're a consultant and then you're charging for it. And even then, you got to give away a couple of free tips and then charge them for the rest. Because if they do better, it opens up doors for all of us. If they learn something from you, it'll come back to you. Trust me when I tell you. I try to, when I'm on scopes with other authors, offer what I can without trying to take over their scopes, but I want to try to offer what I can. And I notice that when I offer to other individuals in a positive way, I get 1 or 2 people that may come back and follow me. That works out too. Now I got a couple people that didn't know me before I entered or said something on the scope. Now they do. And these are all business tips as an author that you should have in your goodie bag. Should be on a regular, and they should be practiced so they don't look forced. That people feel respected. And for me, it goes back to what I said earlier. And that is finding the joy in the fact that you have now written another book, or your first book. And as in this case, my 3rd book, Lukewarm Saint. I can't wait to sit. Okay. Oh, appreciate it. Oh, actually, go to Joe. Go to my YouTube, because I normally put all my scopes on YouTube. When I'm done, I always upload it directly to YouTube, because I'm actually that's another thing I'm working on. I'm going back. Let me just go through the covers again. I go back to YouTube. I'm actually working on creating a book from the advice that I gave on YouTube. And so when I'm done with scopes, I upload them directly to YouTube. Also, have it saved on Catch. So Catch has it saved, as well as I upload it to YouTube, so that way I can load it to all my different pages. Another tip I'll give you before I take my behind to bed. I'm tired. IFTT. Now, what does that mean? And if you're not familiar with IFTT, you are hurting yourself as a business professional. Now, what is IFTT? It is if this, then that. Actually, IFTTT. I'm sorry. It is an app that you should have on your phone, and it is a site that you should go to on your computer, ifttt.com. If this, then that. Now, what does that mean? It means when I post my status on Facebook, it will post to LinkedIn. It will post to Tumblr. And when I post a picture on Instagram, it will post on Tumblr. It will post on Google Plus, and I believe Facebook also. I mix them up all the time. So when I'm posting in one place, it posts in like 4 or 5 places. Now, that saves you time, and it allows you to continue having a presence in multiple sites while only posting on one site. So now my Twitter has content, Google Plus has content, LinkedIn has content, Tumblr has content, Facebook has content, and I could add a couple of more if I wanted to. I just use those as the basic ones. And it's an app that I use for my phone, as well as I go to the site on my computer. And again, these are the things that we have to share with each other, because again, the better we are at what we do, the better we are for the industry, the better we are for the reader. Because we can be as great as we want, but if there's no readers, what are we doing? And Lord knows I've been to enough events where authors are basically just trading books back and forth and having great conversations with each other. So the event was supposed to be a book event, and it basically turned into a high-priced networking event. That's another reason why I don't do as many book events. I look for other events. I go to festivals. I go to whatever, anything that's not literary. Because if I can be the only author there, I gave myself an advantage. I go where there's people at. If I can set up at a flea market for a decent price, I'll be there. Street festivals, I look them up. I sometimes will just put in the term African American. Let me see what people of color are doing. But I don't limit myself to just people of color. So I'll just put in festivals and see which festivals are coming up in a area that I can drive to that are at a decent price. Because if there's people there, I can talk about it. And I can talk to them. And that's another mistake authors make. They only go to the book events. So now you're in shark-infested waters with 9,000 authors and readers who only have but so many dollars in their pocket to buy books. But go to a candy event and be an author. and just have people there, but be able to talk to them. You'd be surprised. Go to a festival, be the only author, see how many books you sell, how many invites you get to come back and speak at their church, at their other event, when they find out that you're an educator or a husband or a father or a mentor or whatever. Because when you're meeting people, when you come from behind your table and you meet people, it's not just about your books. And as I said earlier, you should be selling you. Because if you have enough things to offer somebody, well, you have enough reasons to make money that have nothing to do with the book per se. So I find it fascinating sometimes when I talk to some authors and it's like, oh, I'm not selling any books. Okay. Are you speaking anywhere? No. Why would I be speaking? Okay. Have a good day. Are you mentoring anywhere? Did you ask to be part of any panels? How many different events do you go to that are non-book related? How many other authors' events do you go to meet with them and talk with them just so you can meet other people and hand out cards? Like I said, I work full time, so I can't do it the way I'd like. But when I do it, I'm going to do it to make money and have fun doing it and meeting people. February, I'm in Napa Valley. February 26th to the 28th, I'm in Napa Valley. March, I'm at the literary something, oh God, the Literary Sisters. It's late, hold on, let me see. But I'm in Jersey in March. April, I'm supposed to be in South Carolina. And then July, I believe there's a festival in Chicago. I have to actually pay for that to get that done. And then there's some other events that I normally do yearly. So I have to just download the applications for that and then pay for that. And for me, I don't know about other authors. I try to limit how much I'm going to pay for an event that doesn't have that much history. I'm not paying a whole lot of money for an event and just be staring at the clouds. Okay, Literary Ladies Book Club. And I wanted to make sure I took the time out to search because it's out of respect. The ladies are having me come as a guest speaker. And so I will be there with, let me see, because there's a few of us that's actually going to be there. Let's see, who are the authors? Oh, there we go. Okay, it is going to be Brian W. Smith, Clever Black, and Victor McLaughlin. And so I'm looking forward to be there with the brothers. I'm looking forward to meeting the sisters from the different book clubs. And I think what's fantastic about the March event with the Literary Sisters is that I used to be a vendor there 5 years ago. And so now 5 years later, I'm now the featured author. So I went literally from the bottom to the top, if you want to look at it that way. But I was a vendor, and now here I am being featured at their event. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Also, I think is interesting is that Brother Brian Smith, I was supposed to do a story in an anthology with him. He didn't think my story was good enough, and I have to respect him for it. I didn't think it, when I looked at it over again, I don't think it was well written. So I pulled it back, and I had to work on it. Well, which story was that? It was this one. So I find it funny that, the story that he said wasn't going to make the book. I'm actually glad that he rejected me, because by rejecting me and making me go back and work on my craft, I actually turned that story into a full-fledged 50,000 word novel. So sometimes what may seem like a negative at the time is actually a blessing. And sometimes when people say your work is not good enough for what they're trying to do, we can allow our egos to get in the way, when actually he did me a blessing. By saying no to my work in his book, I was able to pull it back and actually work on it and created a novel. So opportunities are where they are. Opportunities present themselves where they do. The question is, what do we do to take advantage of them? So I'm looking forward to be there with the brothers in March. I'll be in Napa country in February. And like I said, I'm going to be starting grad school in January. So I got a lot of things on my table, man. We got to be able to handle rejection and stride. We do. I mean, it hurts. We're human. We do have to handle rejection. And the funny thing, Brian, is that, yeah, thank you so much. I'm studying ministry and counseling. I'm leaving teaching. Yes, I'm working on my second master's degree. I have a master's degree in curriculum writing and assessments and teaching. Now I'm going back to work on my second master's degree in ministry/counseling. I'm changing careers. I'm leaving teaching after 20 years. Some people are shocked because they're like, you're only 5 years away from retiring. I said, man, I don't know if I'm waking up in the morning. I'm going to do the things that I like and love to do. I'm not being corralled by money. So I'm not worried about retirement. I'm not going to not work anyway. And as well as we're moving to Delaware. So 2016 is going to be a big year, God willing. Changing states, going back to school. I'm leaving my career as an educator. This is my last year teaching. And so, I will be writing. I got 6, 7 other projects that I have planned to do, as well as the publishing. But with the publishing, we're only working on referral basis now. I'm not just don't contact me unless you know somebody I've worked with. I'm tired. I'm not dealing with just random folks who say they want to do work, and then when you tell them how much the prices are, even though the price is on my website, they lose their mind. Ain't doing that no more. You need to be referred to me. You need to have worked with somebody or know somebody that I know who can vouch for you, or we're not doing business, because the out the blue days is done. Nope. And be prepared to put at least 50% down. So you say, well, I work with you? Yes, 50% down. You can pay me the rest when we're done, but you're going to come out your pocket at the beginning. Don't take offense to it. You always have the option of saying no. And I will never take that option away from you. Feel free to say, I'm not giving you 50%. Okay. I'm not doing business with you. And so, this is what it is. So, guys, listen, I'm sitting there rambling. It's time for me to jump off. I'm sitting there, I realize I got to do one more thing before I go to bed. But I thank you all that have been on tonight. Brother Pickney, it has been a pleasure to see you and hear from you. Appreciate all the hearts. We got to catch up. You got to let me know what's going on with you. You see that Soul of a Man Part 2 is coming out in next week. And so I am in a part of that. Actually, that's my 5th anthology that I'm a part of. The first one was outstanding, and I decided to write for the second one. And so that book is dropping on the 25th. So this year I'll have 2 books coming out. And my goal was to do something professional each year since I came in the game in 2007. And I've been able to do that every year except 2010. I didn't write anything new in 2010. But every year since that, in 08, 9, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and of course I'll write something new in 16. So it has definitely been a pleasure. So, Brother Pickney, you and I have to catch up so you can let me know what you're up to, what you've been doing. And everyone else that has paid attention, stayed on, I appreciate you. If you're watching this on replay and you stayed all the way to the end, I appreciate you. Let me just give you my information. My name is KLBELVIN. I am the author of A Man in Transition, poetry book, From Gigolo to Jesus. Thank you, brother. A memoir, and my latest book, Lukewarm Saint, inspirational fiction. My website is bravinpublishing.com, www.bravinpublishing.com. My email address, if you want to contact me or you want to invite me to come and speak or be a part of a panel, is mainoffice@bravin, BRAVIN, publishing.com. Please understand I am a professional. So if you want me to come and speak or you want me to be part of your event, let's discuss the honorarium or let's discuss the compensation. I am not going to try to hold you up. I am not a miser, but I am a professional who is married and has a wonderful baby and other children that I need to take care of. And so I cannot get on the road and drive hours for free. If you want to buy books, buy books. If you want to pay me directly, but we need to discuss it. The days of me just showing up for free because I need the promotional, no. Or the exposure, no. Free does not take care of the bills, and free will work when we can work it. So we can discuss it, but understand as a professional, we need to work on something. And if you don't, we'll figure something out. If you can't, we'll figure something out. I work within the financial constraints of whatever the organization is. That's another thing, too. I don't have a set amount. On my website, I think it starts at $250, but we can always discuss it, because that's another thing, too, is I want to get the message out. So I work with you. It's no problem. I am on all social media sites. Facebook, I have my regular page, author KLBELVIN, and then my author's page, which is the literary page of KLBELVIN. I am on Twitter, KLBELVIN, as well as Braven Books, Google Plus, KLBELVIN, Tumblr, LinkedIn. Just do a Google search for KLBELVIN. I make sure my brand is connected to my name in all ways, in fashion, whatever. I am a teacher. I am an educator. Educator, teacher, same thing. I am an educator. I am a poet. I am an author. I own my own publishing company. We have worked on 25 books to date since starting in 2010. I am I only say motivational speaker. I'm a speaker. If you get motivated, fine. And so I am open to sit and work with you. I don't tutor anymore. I used to, but I don't tutor anymore. But I can get you, if you have some issues or you have some problems with your school, you can contact me. We can work on something. I do private counseling. If you need that, I do couples counseling. And as I said, I am returning to school to work on my master's degree in ministry and counseling, because at the end of the day, I'm a man of God. So there's just certain things I will not be a part of, certain things I will not participate in, certain things I will not support. And I will explain to you why. And if you don't agree with it, that's fine. My faith is not for purchase, nor is my faith something I'll put to the side because you want me to be a part of your event. It's not going to happen. My integrity is not for sale. So again, I hope that this has been helpful to whoever stayed on to listen, and please pass it on to whoever. I'm going to call it a night. It has been a pleasure. Take care, and God bless.